Welcome to Blizzard World. Ready for battle.
Hey everyone, it's Skiesti, and today we're going to be doing a VoD review of Miomi. In this match they sent me, they were 3507 with a peak SR of 3699. They play with all of their settings off, GA sends at 90 and beep sends at 75. Things they mentioned when they sent me this VoD review is that they try to push their damage boost, but think that they go out of position a lot. They don't have trust in their Ana, and they kind of threw at a point that we'll talk about. So, starting off, they speed out of spawn as Lucio and then switch back to Mercy. Taking note of your composition, you've got Tracer and Genji. That's two flanker DPS, which isn't really great for Mercy specifically, since your tanks won't be diving with them. It'll be a little bit odd, but you can make it work. Your default pocket will probably be the Genji or your Zarya if they're high charge. Try to let your Ana deal with healing your tanks. You've got a main healer, so make sure to utilize your damage boost. You're playing a bit close to your team, so try to take advantage of maximum beam length more. You look back at your Ana when she wasn't in range to take the damage that the rest of your team did, which you paying attention to her takes away time that would be beneficial to helping your team who did take damage. Good healing the Genji here before you go for the res, but after the res goes off, ideally you should go with your Genji to help clean up at the back. Try not to worry so much about the little bits of damage your tanks take. Yana can handle it, so try to stick with your DPS. Something that you did mention is that you didn't have trust in your Ana, and it definitely shows. Assisting your Hog here isn't really necessary since he still has his heal ability up. You're really better off here to be damage boosting your team, because at this point you've almost wasted half of Valve trying to help your Hog when he didn't really need it, and if he ended up dying, you're probably better off just rezzing him after if it's safe, and initially helping your team push with the chain damage boost, and potential healing if they take too much damage. And honestly, you being with them might have prevented Zarya's death. You default a lot to your tanks when your DPS are in reach to be pocketed and are options to you. Again, I know this comes from the not trusting your Ana, but they were doing alright. And remember, not every bit of damage your team takes needs to be healed by you specifically. You should be with your Genji here, and I noticed your Ana is moving to the left to help them because she probably notices that they're critical. Well, you're still main with the tanks, and it should be the other way around. Try again to play further back from your team as it puts you in less danger. You should be at peak performance levels. I think you could have Valked sooner to try to encourage your team to engage, while also being able to assist the Genji that's pushed up, utilizing Valk's extended beat range because he's being more aggressive, and ideally you'd want to help him. Because you have a Pharah now, you'll most likely be mainly playing with her while assisting your Kree from time to time when he needs it. When you're with Pharah, try to still be using cover when you can. I know it's hard, but try to trust your Ana with your tanks more. She should be able to heal them. She also has Nano in this situation if necessary, so your team is alright for you to be with your Pharah still, even though your Zarya ends up getting cooked. Right now in this comp, your priority goes something like this. Pharah, McCree, Ana. Unless she's in danger, then she's top priority. Zarya, and then Hog. Try to keep that in mind when you debate about whether you actually need to heal, or who you need to be with at the moment. kind of unnecessary pistoling on the ball. You can communicate with your team that he's there, but try to focus your beam on your team still. Try not to play too close with your Kree here when you help him because it puts you in danger. Like you mentioned in your note for this review, this is not really a mistake. Your wealth is about to run out, so you'll end up getting stuck if you don't kill these then. By the end of it, he's already pretty far out, so it's okay if he gets out alive as long as it means you're still alive and able to contribute to your team for the fight. Since you did go for the Zen, you did have Jay available to you once Valk ended to try to get out and get to safety instead of walking and getting ulted by VoD, which ended up happening. Try not to peek the enemy's window if you can. Be pushing up with your Pharah here instead of with your tanks. In these last moments of contesting, try to be damage boosting and not healing unless someone is critical. It reduces the time to kill and makes it less likely for the enemy team to get back to point and stall enough to potentially turn the fight. It's just a way for you to secure the round for your team.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Until your McCree has a sightline here, try to damage boost your Widow, because she does have a sightline and can benefit from you.
You've got this.
Again, allow your Ana to take care of the tanks while you play with the DPS.
I'm taking care.
This positioning here is okay until the enemy team starts to push in. Once they do, you'll want a GA to around under the archway where your Ana is, or in that general area. You get there eventually, but I'd recommend doing it a lot sooner. This is another time that you can be pushing your damage boost. Your Ana is there and very capable of healing your tanks, so you should focus your attention on your Kree who's right beside you. When Valking, you don't have to be so pressed up against your team. You can use the extended beam range and also try to be lower to the ground a bit earlier since they do have that Widow and she does have a sight on you. The attempt to res here isn't really worth it. Your best option there would have been to just give up the point and try to retreat with your team. The best thing here would be okay if it was to pressure the Widow off high ground, but she's kind of already giving up the high ground once you get there, so you probably get more value by helping your Hanzo instead. Generally, most of this looks alright. I especially appreciate the body block that you did on your Hanzo to save him from the main. Props to you there. Try again not to get in line of sight of their window. It can output a lot of damage and put you in a lot of danger. Honestly, I might recommend that you just kept playing with your Hanzo there instead of even going to your BAP, since you end up getting yourself into a really odd position when you try to fly back to your Hanzo. You would have benefited here from juggling your beams a bit better, and noticing the BAP and Hanzo's health bars and potential danger they're in to determine that.
Round 2 complete.
Now, I don't think that I'm going to go over this last part. For anyone that's wondering, they do hold the game is a draw. It ends up being very close. However, I did notice that a lot of the stuff in these last 3 minutes of holding is pretty much stuff that I've already talked about, so I will not be covering that part. But I will say, as like part of this plays out, that you can definitely be pushing your damage boost a lot more. Your positioning wasn't too bad, but there were definitely times when you played too close to your team or were a little bit in a weird position or not accurately using cover. You also didn't have trust in your Ana. I think throughout that, your Ana didn't give you a lot of reasons not to trust her. It seemed like they had a pretty good handle on things for the most part, so if I were you, I would really encourage you to try to trust in your second healer a bit more often. And that's not just something for this game, but in your future games as well. Anyway, that's it from me. This was Miyomi's VoD review, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do a VoD review every 2 weeks. I'll see you guys 2 weeks from now with another VoD review. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a lovely day.